we fight to gain what we cannot take with us. It's in our nature.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Assassin's Creed Syndicate 100% sync walkthrough. This is sequence 8, final act. This is the assassination of this particular sequence, and we have to infiltrate the Alhambra Musical Hall. So, I really like this mission. I just think that one of the objectives is kind of bullshitty, and it just depreciates the value of the experience, because everything else I enjoyed a lot. So to begin with, we're going to be getting a mask. So you see this lady here that I've just walked up to? She's going to let you in once you get a mask, and you need to get a mask off a random dude who is red. So I choose the guy who's isolated on his own over here, and I try and pick his pocket, but it doesn't give me the prompt. He keeps telling me to knock him out, and I don't want to kidnap him. I want to pick his pocket, but you can't. So you're going to have to put him down, which is what I'm about to do. And I am not kind when I am forced to do things, so I put a blade in his back, and then I proceed to nick his gear. So now we put this face mask on, and it works a little bit like how you were kidnapped. When you kidnap people, you get the Ring of Influence. So if you come over to this lady, it's going to enable us to get inside the Alhambra, and then once inside, we're going to have to do some killing, which I find to be kind of annoying in an assassination mission, because I think you should only have to kill the target, but we're going to have to kill 3 decoys. And the good news is, they show a really nice level of design here, because at first when I was trying to do this, I was going around and shivving them, and it just wasn't really fun, because there's a lot of guards around and they kind of see you and they kind of chase you down, and you're constantly avoiding people getting alerted to you, and it doesn't feel very great considering A, you're wearing a mask just like everybody else, yet they see through it, and B, you're in a crowd, so you should be blending, but you're not. So there was a whole bunch of things coming together that was really annoying me. And then I realised you can use the lady to poison 2 of the targets, so you only have to risk stabbing 1 of them. And it just makes the level flow so much better. But once again, it opens you up to this notion that it gives you the illusion of choice when there's only really one method that's going to work smooth. And I do believe you can make other methods work, but it's just so much harder to do it. And it's not harder in like an execution perspective, it's just harder in the effort needed to fuck about with the systems and the way they work. And you're going to see it at the end of this when I poison 2 of them and I go and shiv the 3rd. And the moment I shiv the 3rd guy, a bunch of people notice I've done it and they start walking towards me, even though I'm in the middle of that ballroom when I did it. It's like the worst thing in the world. And I get saved by a cutscene, which makes it okay. But still, it doesn't make for a fun game. Like, it was the problem that I had with Hitman Absolution. You could wear a disguise and everybody could see through it. So what's the fucking point in a disguise? They perfected that mechanic. You could get past everybody except for the people wearing the one you were wearing. And then you had to keep your distance and you had to not move around like an idiot. You had to do choice movements, and it made sense and it worked so well. And that's the reason why some of those missions are just godlike. They will always be great. And I just bumped into the lady then, put the poison in her drink, and what's going to happen is she's going to go to the guy on the left, poison him, she's going to go back to the bar, go to the guy on the right, poison him, and you have to watch them die for some reason for it to count, I assume. And then we're going to drop down and kill him in the middle. Once you've done that, you're going to get a checkpoint, and then it's going to pretty much simplify from then onwards, but a lot of this is waiting for stuff to happen. So it's not the most interesting thing to watch, but when you're figuring it out, it feels pretty cool. Like, in my ideas, at this point, it should have been harder to poison the brew, but this lady should have poisoned every target, and you could have literally, the moment you drop it in, you should have been able to leave the theatre and just wait outside and you've done it. Because she's going to systematically poison everybody. But they want it to be this kind of climactic, crazy moment when the theatre gets set on fire and all that kind of stuff. But once again, if it was up to me, there would have been no need to kill the decoys, because it's obvious that the decoys and the person who you have to kill, there's only one person on the stage, and it isn't the decoys. Like, how is this difficult? How do we have to kill these people when it's obviously not him? Like, why can't we go and kill the guy on the stage and end the mission? It seems just weird to me. Like, it doesn't seem right at all. And you could compare it to For instance, the Heaven and Hell mission in Blood Money, where you have to sneak into the nightclub, and you have to kill the guy who has the mask on, the gold suit and the gold mask. And you can overcomplicate that mission by going to the bartender and having that fight against the rival assassin, which is not difficult, but it definitely makes it a less cleaning experience. And I think you might actually have to do that. It's been a while since I've played, but you can do all these things to make that mission way more complicated than it needs to be. Or you can sneak into the VIP area, get in the lift, and wait for the target to get in the lift with you, and then you can just strangle him from the roof vent. And it works beautifully. Steal his outfit, and then you can walk around the entire area doing what you want. And it works beautifully. And there are a ton of missions on that game like that, where you can do those kind of things. Like the one that's in like suburban America, where I think you can neutralise the pool boy and just walk around the place as the pool boy and nobody cares. That's another great one. And there's a lot of really good strategies there. Like, you can kill the wife by throwing a coin up at the roof and shattering the glass, and the glass rains down on her and kills her without you getting suspicious, and you can nick the necklace and get the hell out of there. All kinds of just really cool strategies, just so many ways of doing things that make that game really, really great. There are a few missions on it that aren't so great, I think, that show signs of age. The Mississippi one is one that I never really enjoyed, but like the wedding one's a great one, like when you poison the cake and you can choose to use a rifle in the attic and shoot them, or you can choose to wait for him to walk across to the side, and then when he goes up to that open grave to like mourn whoever that relative is, you can push him in the plot. All kinds of awesome stuff. You can do so many cool things in those games, and then you play a game such as this where it's incredibly rigid, and the moment you try and freestyle anything, you just end up getting spotted and everybody knows where you are, because it's Metal Gear Solid rules. But the lady at this point has killed pretty much the majority of the decoys, because she's great like that. And I was hoping that she would go downstairs and poison the last one, but I don't believe she does. I was just kind of waiting here for an experimental reason, and then I decide to move and take out the guy in the middle. And I am curious, actually, because I haven't given the game this credit, if you can go and directly try and kill the guy on the stage, and if it just skips to him setting fire to the place. Because in some missions, you can get to the point where you need to be without doing some of the points that got you there. And if you know where you're going, you can break the sequence like that. But I get the feeling it just wouldn't work. I really do. And you'll have to forgive me here, guys. I don't know the layout of this place as well as I should. This was only the second time I've done it. But I do think that there is hope in that, because it shows that you don't have to have massive knowledge or awareness of this game to do these challenges, because this is probably the easiest challenge game of the Assassin's Creeds that I've played. And to be fair, I never used to like the 100% sync. I thought on, was it Assassin's Creed Brotherhood it got introduced and all that, Assassin's Creed 3 it was definitely there, but whenever I tried to do them on those games I found that they weren't very fun. Assassin's Creed Black Flag was the first one I enjoyed and the first one I 100%ed on the syncs. Then I played Unity, and I did it on Unity, and I thought Unity was easier and more manageable, but a little bit more fun because it wasn't as finicky. And then I played Rogue, which I still haven't beaten. I've got it on my side from my rental service, and I've been doing a lot of the campaign on that with the 100% sync, and that seems really fun too. I think Rogue is a much better game than anybody really gave it credit for being, because it got overshadowed by Unity and the problems that Unity had. Like, I wish Unity had never come out that year and they'd just committed to Rogue, because I think it would make the jump to Syndicate way more impressive. But, you know, Ubisoft, they fucking want money. They want money like something fierce. And that's what they decided to do. So, I use the crowd here to blend. I'm trying to climb this stand and he's not doing it. But he finally does it, and then we can progress. So I'm going to be hopping over here, and I'm going to be going into this back area so that I can get the door open and get the alternative kill option. There are a lot of people here though, and I believe they will see through your disguise, so you want to be careful. They might not. I didn't give them the benefit of the doubt. I just straight up murdered them. And it's one of those things, whenever an assassination mission in a game makes you kill people that aren't the target, I just lose all respect for it and kill everybody. And I do think it can be fun to play games like that, you know, having a go on Hitman, killing them that way, just going in all guns blazing. Not really designed to play that way, and you can tell with how rough it generally is, but it's still fun. And you'll notice the target here is walking around backstage, and then there's the one on the middle dance floor. So we can come over here and we can actually do 2 birds with 1 stone, or 1 smoke grenade's probably more apt. So shiv that guy, run over here, shiv this dude. See you later, friend. And then run over here and proceed to drop another smoke bomb to stun the guy by the door, and then we're going to shiv him and we're going to open the door. So do you see what I mean? Smoke bombs are so good. They're wonderfully good. And they've been nerfed, and they're still wonderfully good, so it just goes to show how much you should be using them. But I do think, if you need to use a smoke bomb to make the stealth work, you might want to look at your systems. Like, how many smoke bombs did I use in Splinter Cell? None. You know why? Because the stealth in that game is really good. It's very binary, very basic, but sometimes the simplest things are the best ones. And that is made by Ubisoft. It's a different dev team, but they have people inside that studio that really understand great stealth, and for some reason none of those fuckers have any say on these games. They really don't. It's kind of hilarious. And I don't get that at all. I appreciate that Ubisoft might have offices all across Canada, and they might be really big offices, but if I was working in a development team and I'd played our other development team's games, would you not be the first guy to go, you just put your hand up in the meeting and be like, have you played Splinter Cell? Pandora Tomorrow? Chaos Theory? Double Agent? Conviction? Blacklist? Any of these? No? No? Really? That is the first thing I would say. And I could be an intern or some scrummy dude who makes the coffee in the corner, but the first thing I would say is, you do realise that the stealth in your game is shit, yeah? Have you played Splinter Cell? And I'd say it a bit more fair than that, but it's true. Like, straight up. You have already figured out how to stealth. Before you even made this game, why are you not using their information, their tech and their knowledge to make this better? Why does the stealth in this game feel horrible, whereas the stealth in that game feels great? And the one answer, the most simplest answer, is of course this is open world, the other one is linear. It's easier to control a linear environment. But I think that's a massive cop-out, because all the times where you do these missions like this, they could have been instanced. This could literally all be instanced inside this room. It's a big room, like, it would work perfectly. But I don't understand why they don't go, why nobody says anything, and if they do, they must get ignored. Like, if I was a games tester, I'd probably get fired, because I'm the game tester that nobody wants on the team, because I'm the guy who's telling them what they don't want to hear. You know, I'm the person who is saying, you know that thing that you're ignoring, that you know exists, but you're ignoring because you're focusing on a million other issues? Well, it's not good enough, and it needs to be better, because people are paying a lot of money for this, and you can't just exploit the fact that they're invested in your series, because it's unfair to them. And if you're not, if you're creating something and you're not aspiring for it to be the best it can be all the time, constantly improving, constantly refining, why do you even bother? It doesn't make sense to me. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.